Alright everybody, welcome back to StarLadder TV. I am your host for this evening, emong, and I joined you guys last night, and I'm joining you again for another complexity game, but this time I'm all by my lonesome. Now, we did miss the knife round, but complexity, they took it, and pretty decisively at that. I mean, it was like 5 up. The knife round, a little bit awkward. I mean, it's just a bunch of guys running in circles, stabbing each other, but complexity come out on top. Now, this is something we saw a lot the other day from complexity, was sending roca on A-long very aggressively, not even just in pistol, but in buy rounds, and it worked out pretty good for them. But we'll see if they're going to be able to stop the onslaught that's going to be the Noble side as they try to make their way into drop room. They're going to get one, but traded out immediately. Roa takes down Valens. Sancz now at broken wall. He's going to get dropped as well. SEMPHIS trying to creep in from the door, but his teammate in the back of sight. That is automatic. Tapping away at some heads. And now he's got support coming in from broken wall. That's going to be roca coming in on the flank. Roca's going to get one, looking for another. Spots out Roa. 1 letter of difference separating these players, and only a fraction of inches separating the headshots. Finally, roca takes him down. And that is now the 1-0. Complexity take that massive pistol round here on Cobblestone. Now, some people were actually kind of surprised that Cobblestone was the map selection because complexity struggled a little bit against Winterfox last night. They had a hard time. I think it was a 16-12 scoreline. They couldn't really solidify things on their T side. But here we go, roca, the aggression walking right into a horde of T side players for the likes of Noble. He's only going to get 1 for his troubles. It's going to be on SEMPHIS here, and the support players coming in from connector, both jumping down into mid, but this long-range battle not really working out wonderfully for the side of complexity. They're taking kills, but it's taking quite a bit of energy, and they're going to actually allow that bomb to be planted into sight. Oh, all Roa has to do is find 1 headshot. He's going to get it. Should go down. Oh my goodness, Roa! With 1 HP, Roa survives, and it's a massive force buy round here. 1-1 is your scoreline. And that is a big round for Noble, and you can see just what it does to the money on the side of complexity. Just heartbreaking for that side. So Roa, I mean, people like to bust his chops about his old Twitter handle. I think it was like Chris is da bomb with like a Z and like DA, and you know what? Maybe he is da bomb. He has a huge round there. And seals the deal for Noble on the force buy. Now they're going to be going up into kind of a mixed buy situation. You can see they've got an AK on emong and on Roa. Galil on shots. rob-wiz getting mustardy with that FAMAS. And then Flom, the IGL, holding back with that MP7. They're taking their time right now, not wanting to walk into any traps because they're probably aware of the fact that complexity is counter force buying. So the force buy for force buy trade, potentially a risk here for the likes of Noble. And the boys on the A site, Roa and rob-wiz, kind of just putting out feelers at this point, trying to see what kind of information they can gather. And they need to do it because this is a full-on stack towards the B site. Valens is going to spot out that shot from shots. He's going to drop back in towards the window. It looks like they're going to commit towards this push on long. Roa's got to be careful. He's got players up close, and he's turning his back to avoid that flash. It's actually Flom who strikes first. Roa is going to take down that player in sight. Gets another one close on broken wall, but look in the back of sight. Roca looking. 1. Looking for another. Is he going to find it? No, he does not. He goes down. So Noble, they end up making it through that 5-man stack on the B site, and Complexity's force buy kind of hurts them a little bit more because now they're going to have to eco once more. And if you can see, you know, the way money works in this game, they've got $1,400 for one lost, $1,900 for another. If they lose this round, they'll be at $2,400. So based on their money, it will still be a very difficult buy. The person with the most money would be SEMPHIS or roca with $3,450, assuming they don't get any frags in this round. But even still, I mean, that's a very difficult situation to put yourselves in. It's going to be a probably back-to-back eco here, unless Complexity can try and pull something out of the hat. So now, shots. Waiting. Patience is a virtue. sancz up close on broken wall. He's got that P250. He's looking for some bodies. Not going to spot anything just yet. Oh, emong right there. That's a big opener for Complexity, but sancz is going to have to spot this second player. That's Flom trying to come in on the trade. Flom only using the FAMAS, not opting for an AK or a Galil. Flom creeping up on Broken Wall right now. Spots out sancz. He's playing back towards Rectangle. On the other side of that smoke is going to be autimatic. We'll see if autimatic is going to try and get saucy here. And yes, he does. Pushing through the smoke. Drops the bomb. That's a big one to lose. Now it's on Flom to take this player out. Good lord. We saw this happen yesterday, and we are seeing it again here. Complexity dropping Noble after force buying and not making it work. Complexity making it work with P250s and P2Ks and USPs. We talked about it yesterday, and my co-caster and I, which was Hano at the time. It's some sort of strange phenomenon that occurs in Counter-Strike where you go into these force buys, they don't work, and then for some reason, you make it work on the vanilla. You know, a few pistols and maybe a grenade seems to work out better. So now, it's back into a force buy here for the T side. rob-wiz is going to open things up. B site control still kind of being contested here. rob-wiz finds another one. Down goes autimatic. Could we see the Eco Suave? Back to back to back Eco trading. Roa right on the other side of the wall. He's going to take down roca. Now, SEMPHIS, I mean, he's got an AK and full nades. He might as well save this. He's walking into kind of the juggernaut side of the T side. They've got emong and shots both finding AKs on the round. Roa with the M4. rob-wiz, unfortunately, only got himself a mag 7. He's actually going to drop to SEMPHIS. He was the player that could really afford to die. They have a whole lot to work with. SEMPHIS trying to get away. Roa's going to come in from the side, and you see that angle just so perfect to see the execution from Roa. So now it's Noble who have clawed their way right back into this game after seeming to sputter after a couple of rounds. They put themselves back in the driver's seat here. Now up 3-2 over Complexity. And it's another awkward force buy here for Complexity. A 5.7, a B250, an M4A1, not the A4. sancz with the mag. Then SEMPHIS on the glass cannon, and well, SEMPHIS was on the glass cannon. There we go, he's back. SEMPHIS just having a bit of dementia here as he's trying to remember which side he's on and where he's headed. He's going to put that Asimov off to use here as he creeps towards the box on Broken Wall. Now opting to head in towards the cubby. He's got to be careful. This is going to get mollied out, exactly what I would expect to see. And good lord, 16 points of health. Down he goes. The expensive investment of the AWP completely wasted here unless they can get up onto this wall and grab it. But it's going to be quite difficult. You can see they've got someone right up on the other side of that smoke. That's going to be emong, keeping that angle just to show you exactly where he's working. And emong's going to molly it. sancz trying to jump up over, but he's actually going to let him have it. They're going to work their way over towards the A site. There was only one player there, and that was roca, who was played it kind of aggressively. Roa's going to make his way up on plywood, spots out man impact site. That's going to be valens, but he gets traded out immediately by autimatic. Now autimatic creeping in on the site. He's got the M4A1 behind the APC. Drops rob-wiz. Mustard definitely spraying out after that one. But sancz, after finding that AWP, you kind of got a question. Is it worth it? Let me work it. No, we're not going to cite Missy Elliott right now. But sancz, he's got that AWP, and he's just going to hang on to it for the round. So it's been a very, very solid start here for Noble as they've really crippled the money for Complexity. And this is what we talked about last night when Winterfox was playing Complexity. If you want to beat Complexity, you have to keep them in a constant state of force buys and awkwardness. You can't really expect them to do a whole lot with, you know, FAMAS or a scout. They rely on the AWP of SEMPHIS, and they very much rely on the rifle of roca. If I'm not mistaken, at halftime last night, roca had like 19 kills. The closest person had like 9. He was out-fragging him, you know, twofold. So they need roca to kind of light things up, and he's not going to be able to do that as much with just a FAMAS or, you know, something worse like a pistol. This could be an interesting round, though. We watched this work earlier. It's 4 P250s. What on earth? Make that 2 P250s and a Nova roca with the USP. I think one of those P250s was supposed to be for roca. SEMPHIS with the AWP. He's boosted up. Dropped 2 spots, went out, but now he's got to be careful. He's in execution range here, and he's at risk of going down. He's going to drop Roa, who manages to get a kill onto his teammate Valens, and he's actually going to spot him from this area, but now he's got to get out of dodge. B site's given to the T side here as it's on Roca and SEMPHIS to try and salvage things. Kind of an interesting position for the AWP. You don't get that opening pick, and you really sell yourself short. You can see SEMPHIS is just content to save here. Roca finds himself an AK. More than likely, he's going to do the same thing. So now we've got that 5th round on the board here for Noble. And if they can just continue chaining these together, this is going to look very, very bad for Complexity. And I don't think a lot of people gave Noble the respect they deserve. A team that sits, I believe, in 6th place in Premier, and Complexity, the team that sits actually, I think, at 4th in the Pro League. They put them on different levels, but it's really going to come down to this guy right here. Neutralize him. You can neutralize a lot of the attack methodology for the side of Noble, and SEMPHIS not looking to take that duel as he was so low on HP. One bullet would have taken care of him. He's going to hold on to that op instead. But if you can neutralize Roca, you really kind of flatten that 3-dimensional play from Complexity. I mean, he's a huge piece of the puzzle for them. Not that any of these other players are bad, but they need him to step up, and he does it almost all the time. So we'll see if he's going to do it here. He's holding over towards long. He's got 2 players creeping towards him. It's going to be rob-wiz and Roa. Would be surprised to see if they take this drive. They're just going to peek, and one tap from Roca drops Roa down to 72 points. He backpedals. He tries to make his way over towards long. Automatic on Broken Wall. Hiding in the cubby. Takes quite a bit of damage. Oh, and he is going to go down through the smoke, so tries to drop the molly and get out, but not going to happen. Meanwhile, though, it was Valens. We saw him do this quite a lot last night with the Mag 7 playing Drop Room, and his teammate sancz playing Broken Wall with that Mag 7. We'll see if he's going to find himself another one. That was Roca over towards the A site. He did take down one. Looks like they're going to be working towards this B bomb site, though, and Valens jumps into the smoke, spots one, can't kill him, but puts a lot of damage down. Emong dropped to just 4 points here of HP. There's a player in sight. That's going to be sancz. Peeks and takes down one, looking for another Flom with the B-hop skills there and the movement. But look at this. The bomb actually making its way towards the A site. If Flom can just stay alive in the window here, he can do so much for his teammate, but he's not going to be able to do so. And now the pressure is on here for rob-wiz. Trapped in sight. He's got an AK to his name and a bullet in his brain. As SEMPHIS takes him down with the AWP, it's going to be now 5-3 Complexity. Find one here on the buy, but it's been quite rocky thus far, spacing those rounds out quite a bit. They are lucky they survived with as many players as they did. You can see the economic stimulus package working out wonderfully for them. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, a lot of money building here for the side of Noble. But if, you know, Complexity lose another round or two, it's back to the ecos, and this could be very bad here for Complexity if Noble takes this. They'd be looking at a 6-3 with potentially a 7-3 coming, and then an eco. I mean, they really, really need to win this round here and stabilize that economy, because they are truly hurting. Roa getting mollied out of drop. He's going to have to fall back down the spiral staircase. That was probably Valens with the toss. The old heave-ho from the drop room. Automatic close on Broken Wall. Puts a smoke down. Trying to get behind it. Not going to do so. sancz creeping his way towards Broken Wall himself. They've got one all the way back on the platform. Still working the drop is going to be Roa, but Valens playing this a little more passively than you would expect, given the buy he's got with this Mag 7. Creeps up close now. This is more like it. Gets up on the on the pallet. Going for the jump shot. Can Roa spot the head, though? I'm not sure if Roa's seeing it. Yeah, Roa spots him, so he knows what's going on here. He's privy to that information. Over on B, we've still got rob-wiz, or on A for that matter, we've got rob-wiz just lurking away in mid. That's going to be a duel between rob-wiz and Roca with A. Again, Valens with that Mag 7 works out so nicely. SEMPHIS retreating from window over towards the vent room, but it looks like it's going to be an A take here from the side of Noble. Molly's going to ring out. Emong tries to beat it to the punch. He's going to go down to Roca in the process. rob-wiz, though, with a great trade. SEMPHIS is spotted on balcony. He's going to get mollied out of position, so potentially an amazing flank coming in from Flom. Gets one, but a great shot from SEMPHIS seals the deal on that. So the 2v2 right now. rob-wiz behind the APC. Him and shots are going to combine for the frag on sancz. Can SEMPHIS make this happen with one up close and one behind sight? Pretty much an impossible task here given the choice of weaponry from SEMPHIS. He's got this AWP trying to find the quick scope. Misses the shot. No scope is going to come through. So now Shots just has to play the clock. Can't give SEMPHIS any opportunities. He spots SEMPHIS jumping up on the APC, and SEMPHIS realizes, well, my chance is just gone now. Gonna have to retreat. He's gonna get the frag as he exits. So a little bit of that kind of like, ha, well, if you're gonna win the round, I'm just gonna do this to you instead. Team Noble taking another one now, 6-3, and like we said, the money, awkward. Very, very awkward here for the CT side. They're going to go for a kind of split force buy here with a couple players picking up pistols and rifles, mag 7s, and the works. SEMPHIS obviously holding on to that AWP is a huge part of the reason why this buy can even happen. But this is that round. I mean, they lose this round. They're right back into an eco here. As you can see, we've got Valens sitting under drop, waiting with that mag 7 on broken wall. Again, surprise, surprise, it's automatic. Sitting back with that CZ75 auto. That's a beautiful shade of fuchsia. Probably really good for painting happy little trees, as you know who would say. Looks like it's going to be a B execute here from the side of Noble. They're setting up for the smokes. You can see it's actually Flom who tosses the first one. Up close is going to be emong. They've got to contend with automatic right here, right on the other side of that smoke. We'll see if they spot him. And good lord, again, Valens just so devastating here. And he's going to find himself a second. I don't know how this is working out so wonderfully for the side of complexity. This mag 7 buy and drop seems to be exactly what the doctor ordered. And it seems like Noble has yet to find an answer. You know, they pre-nade, they molly, but Valens just plays passively and waits. And by the time that Noble goes for the play, Valens has crept up on that pallet, and he just sits underneath. And he's like a duck hunter, just waiting for them to jump into his scope. And he takes him out, easy peasy. So now it's going to be a force buy eco here coming in from Noble. Roca on long, looking for multiple frags. He wasn't able to do this last time. Spraying away, gets one, gets two, gets three! Huge play from Roca on long. His teammate SEMPHIS with the AWP takes down one more in mid. emong, all that's left standing for a hope of a round on the side of Noble. But he goes down as well. Look at that, Roca surviving with 2 hit points there. But it's a 5th round for complexity, one they desperately needed. This could have spiraled out of control. But it does not. And we continue on here. Another buy coming in from the side of Noble. Galil on shots, so a little bit lighter on money. Valens again. Surprise, surprise. He's going to have that mag 7. SEMPHIS going for the head boost off the pallet, trying to spot someone coming up for the drop. He tried this before and actually took quite a bit of damage, but got kills after the boost. Couldn't actually use the boost to his greatest ability. Roca, though! That's the Roca we expect to see here. Shutting down 2 players as they try to execute towards mid. They were just putting out the feelers for info, but info that they received was that death was imminent. sancz now up on the wall, very close, trying to spot out emong behind that smoke. He knows he's there, putting shots directly into his location, but just not quite on the head there. SEMPHIS is actually going to get boosted up over, and this is going to be perfect. If he opts for the right gun here, he's going to take down shots. Bomb dropped behind the T side here. So now, Flom and emong got to try and make something happen here, with Valens making his way out from door. emong boosted up on tree. He should be able to spot Valens just over the top of that smoke, but he can't quite see him. Both players going to have to retreat to get that bomb. SEMPHIS is going to hold a very tight angle here as they try and come in from broken wall. Flom seems to know it. He's going for the jiggle peek, and he manages to survive, and now SEMPHIS is at risk. But Roca coming in, the 4K. Now securing that 6th round for complexity, tying it up at 6 apiece. And Noble's probably wondering at this point, what happened? Where did this go? How did this slip away? What happened? We were up 6-3. It seemed like we were going to force an eco, and we've let them slip right back into this. And a lot of it's been this man, actually. Surprisingly, it's been Valens just securing drop room. I know you probably expect me to say it's been Roca, and it has been, but that drop room play is so important. They're going to find their way out onto the site here, and it's slaughter on the B bomb site. Automatic, Valens, and sancz just completely obliterate the push from Noble, and they take the lead for the first time since pistol round. This is the first time that Complexity's had this lead since pistol round. But the reason I say that valens is so important, and I kind of touched upon this last night, when you're watching Cobble, everyone assumes that this area here is mid. That's what we call it. It is mid. I mean, that's what we refer to it as. But when you're looking at what makes mid a part of a map, what really defines a middle area is that flexibility to rotate between two bomb sites. You do not have that with traditional mid on this map. That mid serves one purpose. You get to A or you get to long A. There is no alternative route. The true mid here would be this room right here. This is what you need control of on the T side. You need to control drop room, and so far Noble has had zero, and I repeat, zero control of drop room, and it's been this guy, Valens. The Mag 7 and SEMPHIS with the AWP getting aggressive as well. It's been working out so wonderfully for Complexity, and Noble has yet to find an answer. They're going to be moving up Broken Wall right into the arms of Valens. That man we were just praising for his play is going to be over in a different position. Pop flash around the corner, peeks a little bit too soon, blinds himself, and drops to Flom. And that's going to force a 3v3 right now with the T side trying to make their way out. SEMPHIS on the hard flank. We've got sancz in sight. Flom dropping off the wall. As he tries to get into that bomb site, he's going to encounter one. But now they got to watch out for this AWP on the flank. SEMPHIS waiting, looking, searching. Misses the shot, goes down to emong. 7 apiece now. Lucky number 7's moving into the 15th round. You can't really give too much of a nod to either team. An 8-7 half. You see it kind of often on Cobblestone. It used to be one of the world's most CT-sided maps, one of the most displeasing maps to play, and even worse to cast. Then that kind of became Nuke once they fixed this map. But it's kind of a more T-sided map. If you have proper executes, you can probably get away with a 9-6 or an 8-7. It's fairly common. And that's what we needed to see all game from roa. We've been waiting for it. SEMPHIS goes for the aggressive peek. He's done it about 3 or 4 times. You'd think they would predict it, and they finally pull it off. Meanwhile, though, rob-wiz drops to the BM Scar 20 from roca. Spare no expense, this scoped rifle does quite a bit of damage, and it manages to take care of the mustard-slinging rob-wiz. But Flom, devastating with the AWP, and I think this is the first time we've really seen him pick it up. He's going to take care of that auto-sniper and put himself in a pretty decent position right now to take a round as they make their way towards Broken Wall. Looks like they're going to actually rotate back towards the A site, trying to pull these players in. It's going to be emong just backpedaling and spraying with the AK. And you can see the bait out worked perfectly, but the execute needs to happen now as all 3 players from the side of Complexity have clumped up in the B site. emong going to be on that massive lurk. The drop room so important for the lurk, and he's waiting to spot Valens. And without that Mag 7, Valens seems helpless. Down goes autimatic in sight, and we'll see if emong can clean it up here with sancz. Last man standing, he's in the B bomb site. emong's going to toss a nade, but sancz hasn't quite pushed up into that position just yet. We'll turn off the X-ray here so you can see the reflexes from both of these players as they go for the wacky spray. Neither one coming out the victor. sancz is going to manage to dispatch of roa, but that is it. 8-7, your halftime score here, with Noble taking the lead at half. Probably shocking a bit of the community out there. Not a lot of people would have given 8 rounds to Noble versus Complexity, but they also wouldn't have realized that it was going to be Cobblestone and not a map like a more traditional team-based map like Inferno, where maybe Complexity's team aspect could shine a little bit more. Right now it's come down to these kind of duel situations, and the roster from Noble Esports just as capable as the roster of Complexity. So here we go. Pistol round of the second half is going to be live. Complexity versus Noble. I'm your host, Bach. This is SLTV. And it's been quite a doozy thus far. Flom is going to get aggressive in mid. Not going to spot out anything, but it's going to be a mid to A push, it looks like, as multiple players come out of drop. This is the A split. This is exactly what I wanted to see from Complexity last night, and it never came to fruition. They're going to be able to get into that site as Flom, the only man A, is really out of position here. He's got one wrapping up close. That's going to be SEMPHIS. And he manages to take him out. Shots drops one as well. They're going to be looking for that bomb planter. That's going to be roca. He's not going to survive for too much longer as he's in the site with the Glock. Good lord, roca! Almost finds the kill on Flom. I can't believe that happened as quickly as it did. Let's just go ahead and, we tried to do this last night. Still not going to let us. Roca deserves one for that, but that would have been one of the nuttier aces and clutches I've ever seen in my life. But it doesn't happen. Roca just puts on a show for the fun of it. And Noble take that huge pistol round to try and propel themselves into a very good 11-7 scoreline. I'm still shocked that Roca managed to get that 3K. Danny is nuts. Just going to say that now. I've had the pleasure of watching him play on LAN, and he is just insanely nutty at this game. And honestly, I think even underrated. I'd love to see him on an international stage, see what he can do against some talent. He's going to drop, or that's actually autimatic that drops first. Roca managed to make his way out of the broken wall. He's got an AK in hand. He's looking for a couple of heads here. He's going to finally spot one. Emong behind the fountain here. He's going to drop to Roca as well. Roca looking for another big round, as it's going to be a bomb plant situation and a 3v2. But look at this. The man in drop is Valens. He's got to come up big for his team. He's going to be able to flank behind Flom, and Flom should drop easy peasy here. The last man standing, that is going to be Shots, and he's creeping up from the broken wall, and down he goes. Valens and Roca combined for 2 apiece. And a big round from Complexity, pulling exactly what happened in the first half. The only difference is that they survived with 2, whereas Noble was only able to survive with 1. They take that anti-eco, or the eco round for them, and they put the money on the CT side in a very awkward state, but surprise, surprise, they're going to force up as well, so 5 pistol armors coming in from the side of Noble. They're just going to do exactly what happened in the first half, so I guess we really shouldn't be too surprised. Try and get those eco trades as much as possible. The first one's not going to work out, though. That's going to be the player in drop. Shots goes down to autimatic. Emong trying to support him, going for the backup frag, not going to get it. It's finally Rello to find the first one of the round here for Noble. This force buy not quite as devastating as it was for the side of Complexity. And now Flom, LMS, last man standing. He's stuck in drop, forced to duel it out with sancz on broken wall with the AK, and obviously the pistol versus the AK. It's not even fair. Complexity tie up the score at 9 apiece. And it's going to be an eco coming in from Noble yet again. Now, I'd like to see them do something interesting here. Try and mix things up. If you're looking at a vanilla buy where it's just, you know, pistols and no armor, you got to do something different. And this is what I was hoping to see. They're going to go for that 5-man stack, but unfortunate for them. Looks like it might be the opposite for Complexity. So they're just going to dance around each other right now. And that is horrifying to say the least. As the side of Complexity makes their way into that site, it's completely uncontested. Flom, the first person that hears it and realizes, well, we done goofed, guys! They went to the A site. Bomb's going to be planted with 1 minute and 15 left on the clock. And the first kill finally comes in here from Complexity. As they plant the bomb, they get a kill. Pretty easy round here for them to take. It's going to be almost impossible for a retake to happen here. No kits, no nades, no armor, no pistols, no nothing. They're just dropping like flies now. That stack was a necessary gamble, but the gamble just doesn't pay off. Shots gets flashed down in mid here. He's got one right around the corner. Might be able to take this rifle away from sancz if he decides to peek it improperly, but you see his support is going to be Valens, and if the 2 peek it properly, there's no reason why one of them should die without a trade out. And sancz just turns the angle, knows that they're going to be waiting. rob-wiz, though, does find himself an ump. Not exactly the greatest gun on earth, but the ump does say you're out. And he's going to survive as that nade almost hits him at the buzzer. Complexity stealing that lead back yet again here. And they've really fought for every round they've had. I mean, none of these rounds have really been landslide victories. They've been slugging it out with Noble. And again, it kind of begs the question of why they selected Cobblestone. They picked it last night and they picked it again tonight when they struggled against Winterfox, and they seem to be struggling here against Noble Esports. You could argue that Noble is just a good Cobble team, but, you know, at the same point in time, if you know you didn't handle yourselves too well on the map the previous night, you might as well try something different. Slow play coming in here for the side of Complexity, though, as they creep towards B. Looks like it's going to be a smoke and flash take. Autimatic trying to get control of drop right now. Is going to drop a smoke to smoke off window. Going to go for the pop flash here as he rains it out off the wall. And that should land right into the middle of the room, but it doesn't matter. As shots are playing passively, Emong, meanwhile, shutting things down with his teammate. Both go down, though. And now Shots has to make something happen as they actually do get control of the site. SEMPHIS with the AWP. He's waiting for the body of the player in drop to peek. Kind of curious as to what Valens is thinking. He's got the bomb, and he goes for the aggressive peek, and now he's going to lose the bomb. And, okay, Valens. Not sticking the plant. Maybe a little bit concerned that the flank could be coming. I'm a little bit confused by what we just saw. And, so now SEMPHIS, he's just all by himself with the AWP. He's got 20 seconds left, so he's got to go for a smoke and try and grab the bomb. You know that roa is just going to spam through this the second he hears him pick it up, and he does so, but smart play from SEMPHIS here to not give anything away. He's still got the AWP. Oh, roa. Can SEMPHIS time this right, or will roa play this to a T? And roa does play it perfectly. Flom and roa now just waiting, buying time. SEMPHIS can't do anything. Down goes SEMPHIS. And that was a game of cat and mouse, but it was 2 cats and 1 mice. Mouse. Yeah, 1 mouse. That's the proper terminology, Bach, you ding-dong. And that's now 10 apiece. Trading blows back and forth are the signs of Complexity and Noble Esports. And a big thing for them right there was that Noble didn't really have to put too much emphasis on the drop room because a lot of the pressure from Complexity came towards Broken Wall, and they were able to lock that down pretty easily. Now we'll see if this is going to work here towards long. It looks like they've got 2 players. Oh, it's roa who actually gets the boost as Flom retreats with the AWP. Pretty common spot, though. Would be surprised if he doesn't take this, and he does go for the jump peek. roa pretty much dead to rights. His teammate Flom goes down as well. Rotating in towards the site is going to be Shots, Emong, and rob-wiz. Robert Wiz. autimatic gets the first one. Looking for another rob-wiz right to the other side of the vent, and gets himself that second frag. Back to back. They start to chain these rounds. It could be devastating for Noble, but it's back into ego territory for them. And really, you know, the thing that's surprising right now are these 2 players not having too great of a game. Shots and rob-wiz just having a little bit of a rough go on Cobble, whereas Emong, Flom, and roa seem to be leading the charge. But this is the one we talked about. roca, top fragging, kind of to be expected here for the side of Complexity. A rock, the foundation of their CT side, and a big part of the reason why they take rounds on their T side, and he plays the lurk role excellently, as well as the entry fragger, so he can really do either one. Pop flash there from the side of Noble would have worked out nicely if rob-wiz had the hops to make it up on the wall. Flom's coming in on the flank. He's going to take down 2, and that is a huge double there in drop. But at what cost? Half the team has already died. Emong holding down rectangle right now. Emong right on the other side. sancz can't manage to take the duel, and he's going to lose it out to Emong, who finds himself another. These pistol rounds so devastating for both sides. And now SEMPHIS could potentially catch Emong with his pants down. SEMPHIS goes for the blind play with a P250, sells himself on the positioning. The 11th round at the 11th hour. Complexity and Noble. 2 titans just slugging it out against each other on Cobblestone. Reminder, guys, this is the first map, and these teams are just bringing everything to the table. You'd expect to see this from a 3rd map in a close series, but this is just map number 1. There is still so much more Counter-Strike to be played, and I really think that if Noble takes this, there's a very strong likelihood they could win the best of 3. They really needed to take the first one. Flom with the op in mid, misses the shot, and SEMPHIS is going to punish here as he comes up broken wall. Wow, SEMPHIS with the recoil control, spotting out 2 before dropping to Emong. Coming in from the balcony, Emong looking for another as Valens tries to get into sight with that bomb on his back. Emong holding down the bomb site, looking for an angle here, peeking wide, by the way. Kind of curious as to what he's doing, getting over towards cannons. You'd think the information would be given from his teammates, but he goes down in the back of sight. Bomb dropped by APC, and now rob-wiz, AWP, up close and personal. Gets spotted by roca. Looks for the headshot onto autimatic. Back and forth we go, making that uppercase M. Kind of a big fan of that one, as my name is Mark, so maybe that's why they did it. They're doing it for me. I'm just going to tell myself that. I did talk to Flom and roca beforehand, so they know I'm casting, and maybe they're just like, we got you, Rock. We're going to give you this M, make yourself feel better. If we could get a W in there, that'd be awesome, because then I'd get my initials, and I would totally claim responsibility for it. But roa in mid right now with a P250 and a Dream. It's got quite a bit of power on the opposite side, as Valens has the MAC-10. Kind of the king of awkward buys, picking up a lot of bizarre guns and making them work. Kind of similar to Get right now. I'm not saying he's on the same caliber player-wise. Likes the awkward guns, the P250 or the P90, the Mag 10, the Mag 7. Just kind of awkward. Not the kind of stuff you usually see. It's going to be a trade 1-for-1 here in mid as the CT side did manage to take out Valens, the Mag 10 player, but roa dropped in the process. Meanwhile, they've already got one in drop zone. That's automatic, so a lot of control right now on the map for Complexity. Over towards stairs, we've got roca holding, waiting, hoping that Flom tries to push down long A. Autimatic gets a nice pop flash for the team. He's going to take out one. Looking for a second. He's going to find it. There's only one more man in the B site. That's going to be Shots, who's right behind the white rock. Meanwhile, roca finally catches Flom pushing. This is an excellent trap-style play, so, you know, if you were watching exactly what was just happening there, you can look at the map. They basically had a player here and a player here, kind of like floating around between these two. Player in here as well. And they just kind of trapped these players in. Once they got the opening picks, they knew they were going to have to rotate, so they kind of banked on Flom pushing long to come in on the long flank around. They banked on this player trying to rotate back out or head into B, and it just doesn't work for them. So now they're going to be staring down the barrel of a speed play here for Complexity as they walk directly into the eco buy for Team Noble. They finally found solidity with their economy, and they're just going to make it work here as they storm into the site. roca, the first man in, and he gets staked immediately, down very low to 12 points of health. Going to kind of mess with his effectiveness here. But roca and autimatic do combine for the kill onto roa. Emong drops one. Sancz and Valens drop two of their own. Flom trying to come in on the flank as his teammate rob-wiz goes down in sight. Flom with a P250. Trying to spot somebody. But all he's going to spot is that massive bullet from the AWP of SEMPHIS as it collides with his chest. And it's now 14-11. Noble just struggling here on their CT side, and the T side kind of shining through for Complexity a little bit more full, I'd say, from Complexity. Not quite as one-dimensional as the T-side attack was from Noble, and I'm not saying that Noble doesn't have anything to happen on their T-side, but I've seen more from Complexity, and it's stuff that I like getting control of drop room and using that to lurk, using that to rotate, you know, sending people into drop and going for split A. Kind of like bait and hook play where you're laying out players trying to get an opening pick, and when you do, you play on the rotates. And you just kind of, you're playing picks, but it's not really like playing picks. You're timing the map in a way that you know someone's going to push. One team that I saw do that really well was Nip on Nuke. Once upon a time, they would send a player into hut, and they would volley out the vents in lower, so that the player would come up through the vent right into the scopes of the player in hut. I mean, it's one of those things, it's just team coordination and timing that works out wonderfully. They're going to molly off the broken wall this round as they try to prevent the side of Complexity from storming broken, but it's not really going to make too much of a difference as drop control has been given to autimatic. rob-wiz in sight. The AWP looking for something. He's going to find two. Looking for a third. Not going to get it. It is going to be Flom, though. The double op setup here from the side of Noble. Ooh, and SEMPHIS with the miss, and that's a big one. Autimatic gets taken out by Flom, point blank, shotgun style with the AWP. The money, though, on the T side, still very good. A lot built up, a lot of bank. So more than enough for them to afford a solid buy. And they've got only one round to spare here before Complexity puts themselves on match point, and then it gets very scary. But if you look at the money for Complexity, they kind of put a lot into this. They'll be able to buy once more, but it'll be forced buy with a couple players, not really able to get a full buy. And they'll probably have like 2 pistols and 3 rifles, or maybe even a 4th rifle or a Mag 10 of some sort, something like that, a shotgun maybe even. Flom up close, he's got the armorless M4, and he plays the positioning perfectly. Gets a 1-for-1 though. SEMPHIS with a very quick trade out. This is the kind of play you like to see, where you send 2 players into a spot where you normally only expect to see 1, and it's actually something we saw Complexity do quite a bit on this map as well. So SEMPHIS not going to risk it. Not worth losing the biscuit. As they work this slow play, shots over towards drop room right now with the Mag 7. Trying to pull a Valens. His Valens impersonation could be pretty good, but doesn't look like it's going to happen this round as they're creeping out towards the A site. roa's going to drop a smoke. try and get back in towards that A site. He's getting behind plywood right now. He's got to move quick. The execute's about to be on here for the T side. I think at this point, Roa knows what's going on as he sees the nades flying out. And he's better off just hiding here, not giving away his position. You can see just why. He gets one, but he needed to get more than that. As Complexity now has control of the site. A good molly from Emong could buy some time here with the bomb. And a great headshot as well onto the man in back sight. Makes it a 2v2. Valens needs to come up huge here with the flag. Emong's trying to stay in it, but there's just not enough time. Yes, there is. No, Valens almost misses the plant, but it puts the pressure on Robert Wizard here. rob-wiz. He's got to make something happen. Got the AWP and he's going to drop off the balcony. He's got one so close in sight. That's Valens. One over towards plywood. Smoke is very nicely placed here for the side of Complexity. Pop flash gets the name. Oh, and the no-scope full blind from rob-wiz. Can't believe that just happened. SEMPHIS tosses a nade. So much damage dealt. rob-wiz knows he's there. He's just waiting for the peak. And almost pulls it off. But at that point in time, without a kit, would have been impossible either way. So Complexity and Noble duking it out, but Complexity finally gets that 15th round. Noble almost had it in the tank there, could have potentially stolen it away. But now it's an eco for Spy here on the final round, potentially round number 28. As Noble finds themselves 3 rounds down to Complexity, and it's going to be a speed B play here as Valens and the like just storming out, trying to win this round quick and dirty. Automatic's going to be the first one. Emong goes down in the sight. And that should pretty much be all she wrote, unless rob-wiz and company have something to say about it. He's going to find himself an AK over in drop room. His teammate Roa goes down. rob-wiz up close. Can't make it happen. And now Flom, the last hope here. The Obi-Wan Kenobi here for Noble. Looking for more. Trying to spot him. But that is going to be it here for the side of Noble on map number 1. It's Complexity who takes it 16-12. This was their selection and the exact same score we saw last night as they played against Winterfox. But there's still another map. This is a best of 3. We're going to be moving on to Cash next, which is going to be Noble's map selection. And we'll see if they have a little bit more to provide on that map. Reminder, guys, you are watching SLTV live on Twitch. I am your host, Bach. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.